Okay, so hang on a sec. Okay. Shoot, this table is filthy.
Can we move this stuff?
I'll vacuum later. I'll throw it right in the middle of the camera setting. Anyways, I think that was good enough.
Okay.
Welcome to This, That, and the Other, where we talk about Detroit and MSU and Arizona and ASU and Arizona sports. My name is Ben, and this is my good friend Mike and Michael Q. And we decided it'd be good to actually make a video instead of just doing a recording. This is on my channel. This is my first actual recording. So thought it'd be good to go in a different direction and raise the bar on what we produce. So this is where we're at, and it's been almost 3 months since we made a video, and that's on me. I take full responsibility for that. I want to thank you to the 60 people who saw my video tribute to the Palace of Auburn Hills.
Much love.
And I was going to start somewhere else, but I want to start there first. As you see, I got my Pistons hat. I'm kind of being a ham right now. I don't know if you know what that means. Basically, just just pointing out stuff that doesn't need to be pointed out, But I was really you've been to a game at the Palace or two, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
A couple.
Okay, how many games would you say you've been to?
I would say 2.
And what are you drinking there, Mike?
Oh, this is a Mountain Dew Zero.
Okay, I'm drinking Diet Coke. If you guys aren't familiar with it, search the internet. It's good stuff. It's not new. But anyways, so what was your when you first went to a game at the Palace? What was it like for you? Was it kind of like? I want to hear your experience first, and then we'll talk about my experience.
Yeah, I was pretty fortunate. I believe I got a couple of free tickets from St. Tom's, one of the churches I was going to at the time. So that was a nice blessing there. I got a really good seat too. Wasn't expecting that.
Okay.
You see all the seats in the Palace, and you're like,
yeah.
Well, it sucked to sit there, but I'm
Was it in the lower bowl?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yep.
So okay, go ahead.
Yeah, just a few. This is like 10 seats above, or 20 maybe.
Do you remember who they were playing? Was that sorry, I got rapid fire questions.
Yeah, that's fine.
So where were you sitting, and where specifically were you courtside or out? And then also, who were they playing? And what do you remember how the team was doing?
That would be tough to remember who they were playing, but this was about 2011.
Okay.
Maybe 12, but I would say 2011.
Okay.
So
that was a little late in the game then, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry.
You're good.
Continue.
So they weren't a super successful team at that point. This is kind of after the Chauncey Billups years, and the core of the team that won the championship was gone, if not everybody.
Yeah. If not everybody, yeah.
Most likely everybody.
Yeah.
But
so they were not a playoff contender that year.
I don't believe so.
Not even close. Oh man.
Man. But it was nice. I mean, 20 seats above.
Yeah.
So
sorry, but where in the bowl was it? Was it sideline, or was it in back of the baskets, or was it more or less center court?
It was pretty much center court.
Nice,
dude.
Yeah,
just right at the.
At the logo, probably.
Yeah,
huh?
Pretty much at the logo.
Wow, dude, that's awesome. I don't care how bad they're doing. That's still cool when you can get those kind of seats.
Exactly.
But
no complaints.
And then you went to another game, you said?
Yeah, and then the second game was I actually got to see Anthony Davis. I do remember they played the New Orleans Pelicans at the time. Before they became the New Orleans.
They're still the New Orleans Pelicans.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, that's all right. No, I mean they were the New Orleans Hornets for a while. I think that's what you were thinking of.
Yeah, were they Hornets back then? That
they were Hornets for a little while, and then they turned into Pelicans.
Okay.
And then the Charlotte became the Hornets.
That's
again.
right.
So
I think this is when they were still the Hornets, but I don't know. This is about
This is
2015, 2014.
It's just bugging me. So
Yeah.
sorry about that.
That's all right.
Yeah. Anthony Davis. Yeah, obviously, he's he gave up and he said, "I'm going to LA." He's gonna play with LeBron. But so anyways, that was probably like later, like 2015, something like that, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. But so I had a little bit, different but same situation. Like my first game was like almost 20 years ago, maybe 2002, something like that.
Okay.
So I go there and I just walk in and I'm just like, back then, like TVs are just like, like, I can't believe I'm saying this because like TVs are like, like, cause I'm only almost 30 years old, but the TVs, you just didn't see, it wasn't like, excuse me, the colors just weren't like as fresh on the TV,
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, there's still, like the difference between like, you're just not seeing everything, like back then. Nowadays, it seems like you watch a game, it looks, very similar, you get a very good idea of what you're seeing down there,
Yeah.
So back then, I go there, and the seats we got were like, kind of like yours, except for they were the upper deck. They were like the first row of the upper deck, middle section. So they were like the best possible seats you could have gotten in the upper deck.
Wow.
So, I mean, and, I'm not saying that those are great seats, but they were still pretty good. But I was just in awe of like, oh my gosh, all the colors, the big Jumbotron, just like the shininess of the court, you know, it was just, did you kind of have a similar feeling when you saw it?
Man, I don't know, because back in 2011, like, I felt like the TVs kind of did it justice.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's just kind of how I, perceived it, and it was just like, and it was like that even years after. Like we went for like probably 5 years in a row. Our family just kind of got addicted to the Pistons for a while, and we went to a game every year.
That was when they were good.
Yeah, it was when they were on the rise, getting better, and I think we saw the first game I saw was against the Spurs, and they were a pretty good team back then. And it was Tim Duncan, David Robinson, Steve Smith. It was those Spurs. Okay. So it was like. It was they were just a really good team. Pistons ended up losing. This was like their first year of being a pretty good team. They won 50 games, but they just weren't quite on that level as the Spurs. Because I thought the Spurs were probably conference finals to finals level team. The Pistons got defeated in the second round, but they were just it was just a great game, and the Pistons led for a good part of the game, and they just couldn't quite hang with the Spurs. And Tim Duncan had a really good name. So that was probably, honestly, one of my favorite games because it was like my first time going there. Probably like, I don't know, like maybe it wasn't like a national TV game, but it was like, wow, they're playing a really good team. So it was kind of like one of those things. But, and then we saw them play the Timberwolves, and when they weren't that great, then I saw them actually play the Magic. And that was actually like the second game Rasheed Wallace was playing. So they actually lost that game, even though they won the championship. And the Magic were actually a really bad team, ironically. But then I think we saw them play the Bucks another year when they were not very good. Not like one time when we went. Yeah. But and then we saw them play the Bobcats, the Charlotte Bobcats. I don't know if you remember them. Yep. So then I took a long break. 2017 rolls around, I hear they're gonna demolish the Palace, and so I'm like, I gotta get to some games. Yeah. So I go with my brother to a game, and then that wasn't quite enough. So I called my buddy up who lived in Detroit. Named is Richard, I think, right?
Oh, Richard Dunn?
Yeah, Richard
Dunn.
Okay, yeah. You know who I'm talking about. Yeah. Not really Richard Dunn, but someone who has very similar characteristics. But so I said, he said, yeah, we'll go to a game. They actually played the Suns in one of them. So I said, yeah, and those tickets weren't the greatest. But I went to a game by myself that same weekend. It was like Friday night. I went with Richard Dunn on Sunday. Okay. And then on Friday night, I go by myself. And I just treat myself, man. Okay. I just buy seats, like kind of like what you had. Like just like, I think I've showed you the pictures. Yeah. But they weren't quite center court, but they were pretty close. Wow. And they were like, maybe 20 rows up.
How much were those?
They were like almost $100. Dang. So I mean, like, it was a small price to pay for me just because that was the first time I didn't have to cater to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to like, go with my parents.
Yep.
I didn't have to be like beg for money to buy some popcorn. Man, I got however many beers I wanted, and I got I got food if I wanted to, and I bought clothes if I wanted, stuff, and it was just really fun experience, man.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to give anyone watching this advice, one time, if you never do it again, but at least one time, go to a game by yourself and just see how you like it, because it's a pretty fun way to go. I found out, man.
Okay. I'm surprised. I
yeah.
wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah, I mean, like, just think about it. I mean, the funny thing was there's actually these they were playing Toronto,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the game where like it's kind of like you're at home but you're not really at home.
Yeah.
Like where the Raptors fans all buy up all the tickets. So I was in a row with a bunch of Raptors fans,
Mm-hmm.
and they were very charming Canadian. Like they were like. What kind of Raptors fans, eh? Or what did he say? I'm trying to think. He goes, I don't know.
I don't think that's how Canadians sound.
Eh? Don't they say eh?
Your accent was more like a mix between like African and...
Oh, African, yeah. And Australian. Yeah. Okay. Well, I got the A part right.
Yes.
But anyways, it was pretty... They were there for like half a quarter, and I'm just like, man, these are really good seats. They're there for like half the quarter, and then they just leave and they never come back.
What?
And I'm like, what kind of I don't know what the abundance of wealth is.
Yeah.
If someone takes like pretty expensive seats and just says, man, I'm bored with this. I'm gonna go do something else, man. So like, I was locked to my seat the whole time.
They got some privilege.
Yeah, but that was probably one of the best experiences I had there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to another game actually with some other friends, and we actually did get to go on the court that one time, and I shot a basket and airballed it. That was one of their first experiences at the Palace, and then me and my brother go to the final game at the Palace ever against the Wizards, and they lose that game. But we also saw Dirk Nowitzki.
That'd be sweet.
The game me and my brother went to, but
did he go off?
Not really.
Yeah.
Pistons won that one.
Okay.
They weren't that good that year, but. Anyways, those are just kind of the memories I have there, and I know it's taken up a bunch of time, but it's just something that has been very important to me. Actually, I bought some seats from the Palace of Auburn Hills, so I'll update you guys when I have that set up. Right now, it's just kind of collecting clothes over there right now, but so I mean, I wanted to talk about it just because it's very special to me, because the Palace has so many memories, but Pistons had so much success there.
They did. And
it's just crazy. And, I mean, like, I feel like you get disrespected, don't you? Like, I mean, obviously it's gone now, but, I mean, like, it's this outstanding arena, I mean, it doesn't take a smart person to realize, hey, this is a nice facility, and it's like, there's some other NBA arenas that are still up. Like, actually, the one in Phoenix is not doing so. I don't know if you knew that.
USA.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing.
Yeah.
But, like, to demolish a place that's actually in pretty good function, probably one of the nicer arenas in the league, to move into a place where it's not your building, like, they moved to Little Caesars, and, they're always going to be second thought to the Red Wings, probably, right?
Yeah.
But like, why would you move from a place that's yours? It's got it's got a very unique name. Like, it doesn't have a corporate sponsor name, and I thought it was kind of cool that it wasn't in Detroit, just because it's like it's just kind of a unique little wrinkle. It's like, hey, it's like up, it's a little ways out. It's kind of cool. So I really like that, and I was kind of devastated actually, and it sounds really dumb, but when they moved from the Palace, and that happened this summer. I mean, they say they demolished it, but really there was just a few beams standing. I don't know why they made a big deal about it, actually. But, I thought that was something I wanted to address. I had been wanting to make a video about it for a long time, so I'm glad you gave me the opportunity to talk about it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But, because I know we have other things we want to get to. But, yeah, that we can... just leaving it right there. I've given you my thoughts on it, and obviously it's not going to come back anytime soon. One last thing I want to say.
Yeah.
You remember the game we went to?
Yes.
Do you remember that big stupid fixture above the, that was above the,
Like,
where we were sitting way up there.
Yep.
Do you remember seeing that big stupid fixture that
Yeah,
was like,
that was
it had
nice.
like TVs?
It's like offices up there or something.
Yeah, it was like offices, but it was like there was like these big screen TVs. I was like, man, that's just cutting off everyone's view. Didn't you
Yeah.
think that kind of?
It was close. I think I could still see the court
I could
completely.
see it, but I feel like it blocked off like a third of the view.
Yeah.
Whereas I like the open feeling the Palace had.
Yep.
And that's just one other thing. I will say, Little Caesars, just walking around there, obviously it has a ton more restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that you would say, hey, like they got a leg up in the, like they got X amount of restaurants, But I mean, as the overall experience of the game, I didn't think there was a single thing that I thought that it was actually better than the Palace. In fact, our seats were probably worse and very steep up there too.
It is
very steep. It decline there.
It's crazy. I don't know if I told you this, but I went to go see ELO for the young kids that don't know. That's Electric Light Orchestra from the 70s.
Yeah.
But yeah, and some dude up there actually fell. Almost.
Really?
Yeah. He was on his way to falling backwards.
Oh.
And he flung his beer and spilled on some people, but his wife seemed to catch his legs before he went down.
Thank God.
Yeah, but it was it's so steep. It's scary.
Yeah, that's I mean, I don't know, like it's just not, I don't think it's really that safe. I mean, I mean, in theory nothing should happen. You should be paying attention, but that's another aspect. And I just think that, the newer arena just is not, I just don't think that, I don't think that there's much that sets it apart, like you say, man, this is so much better than the Palace, so anyways, kind of beating a dead horse there at this point. Again, the Palace isn't coming back, obviously, but it was just one of those venues like Tiger Stadium, like where was kind of like that for my dad, where he saw a lot of games there.
Yeah.
He saw them win championships during his time, and the Pistons was like the only team in Detroit I've actually seen win a championship.
Yeah.
So, because I'm not a big hockey fan. Another thing, probably one of the main things I wanted to talk about, as you can see, we're both wearing Arizona. I'm wearing an Arizona Cardinals t-shirt. Sorry, my rolls were covering that. And he's wearing my Sun Devils t-shirt, and we both have family members who lived in Arizona at one point, and we both kind of have like a soft spot, for Arizona teams, and it's not like we were having this debate a little bit, and we're wondering, is it okay, can you still be like a diehard Detroit fan if you have like a team that you kind of, maybe you have a shirt, for, maybe you just kind of like them, if things work out for them, if they're not playing your team kind of thing.
Yeah. Kind of tucked away.
Yeah. Do you think that it's okay to have that and still be a diehard like Lions fan, let's say?
Yeah, I absolutely do. I mean, I think in sports you got to have that second team, you know, in case your team's not doing as hot or,
I know there's probably a lot of people out there that would say, that probably just don't have that, mindset. But when you think about it, like, Lions fans watch the Super Bowl, obviously. So, like, what would they do? Most people are rooting for a team when they watch the Super Bowl, whether it's, whether it's like really strongly, like I'm actually kind of weird because when it gets to the Super Bowl, it almost doesn't matter what teams they are. I'm almost always rooting really hard for one team. It's not just like, oh, I'm watching the game.
Yep.
And it's like, even when the Giants were playing the Patriots, which is like two of my least favorite teams, I was like, go Giants.
Yep.
So, I mean, to a certain degree, we all root for other teams at certain points. And, if the Packers are playing, if they're playing, I don't know, if they're playing Tennessee, who am I rooting for that week? I'm rooting for the Titans, So, I mean, everyone has teams they like more than other teams too. So, like, I don't think if you're being honest with you can say like, I never root for other teams. So, Do you have anything like you want to add about that? Well, anything? Do you have any like specific thoughts on that?
I guess like as long as if your home team, if a Detroit team is playing, like for us, Phoenix team or Arizona
Yeah,
team,
yeah.
I think you have to root for.
Okay, I gotta give you a few scenarios though.
Okay, all right.
Let's say the Lions are 6-9.
No, don't do this.
Arizona is 9-6.
Yeah.
Arizona is fighting for a playoff spot.
All right.
Detroit Lions just outside, not really competing for it. And Lions could get a better draft pick if they lose. What would you say in that situation?
All right. I guess in that case, you kind of got to look out for both teams in that season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I could justify like rooting for Arizona in that case.
Okay, but all things being the same, obviously we root for the Lions. Lions and Arizona in the NFC Championship game to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Obviously, who are picking
Lions?
Lions, yeah. Cardinals have already been there. They blew it.
They had their chance.
Yeah, they had their chance to beat the Steelers, and they blew it.
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
But so yeah. I mean, another. So like I said, it's simple. It's simple. All things being the same, you root for your team, but like you don't have to be. I still think you can obviously be a diehard fan. I think it's still okay to own a shirt.
Yeah.
At least one shirt.
Mm-hmm.
If you kind of like a team, but maybe you're not diehard about. I think maybe more than one shirt. Then I think
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you think there's like I actually have 2 Sun Devils shirts.
See, that's out of line.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I know.
I think 2 is a good limit.
Yeah. 2 is a good limit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you think it's like okay to have at least one article of clothing, like one hat, one shirt? Like, do you think that'd be fair?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I think we've beaten that to death. But what was it like the first time you went to Arizona?
Man, I can't even remember because I was probably like 1 or 2.
Okay. What about like the first time you remember?
I just remember it's just super nice. I mean, like we always took advantage of like the good weather there when it was bad weather here, like March. It was a good month ago.
Yeah.
Where it's like creeping up into like the 80s there, but it's dry heat, so it's super nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just smells good.
Oh, yeah.
It looks good out there. It's
man.
Beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, I feel very similar. First time I went out there was like, I think I was like 13 years old.
Okay.
And it was around Christmas time.
Nice. Go
to visit my uncle. It's just awesome weather. Getting out of that Michigan crap, and, going there around Christmas, it gets a little bit cooler at night and, during the day it's perfect temperature and no humidity and it's just perfect. And I've been there in the summer too. Summer is a little bit more, like, intense.
Yep. It's kind of brutal.
I think it's probably harder for people who live there than tourists because tourists are kind of taking it all in, whereas other people are just like, this is what they have to put up with every day, so.
But persevere through that.
Yeah. But, there's a cool part of Arizona, too, which I got to see when the Cardinals were in training camp called Flagstaff. You've been there?
Yep.
Yeah, Flagstaff. It's kind of like, it's almost like Michigan.
Yeah.
Like weather. And the Cardinals had their training camp up there because it's so cool up there. I don't know if they have it up there anymore, but that was where Northern Arizona University is located. So, just a real cool campus. I've got pictures on my Facebook still. I think I sent it to you. Did you ever look at those?
I don't know if I did. I'll have to look at those.
Yeah, they got, it's pretty cool. I actually got cool shots at like Kurt Warner and stuff,
Nice.
So, yeah, it was
Great,
fun.
dude.
And so my uncle, he's gotten me a Suns shirt at one point. Unfortunately, that was so long ago that the shirt, even if it was in decent shape, it wouldn't fit anymore. So it's gone. He got me a Diamondback shirt at one point and a Sun Devils shirt, and he never actually got me a Cardinals shirt, but he did take me to the Cardinals training camp. So,
yeah.
But we almost went to a Suns game one year too. We were like begging our parents to do it, and we just couldn't fit it into the schedule. But we thought it would be fun. They weren't that good that year. I think they had Stephon Marbury.
Okay.
When they were during that time. But
so that was like early 2000s?
Yeah, early 2000s, yeah.
Okay.
So I was 7th grade, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, you guys. So those are the great Arizona memories. Sedona is a really cool place to visit as well. I don't know if you've been there.
I'm not sure if I have.
It's pretty cool. It's kind of weird though. It's got like a monsoon season during the summer.
Dang.
So it's like there's just like random half hour where it just pours and rain and then it clears up like nothing.
Wow.
The pavement's dry within like an hour. It's crazy. But
I didn't know that.
just really cool stuff out there. And we're gonna buy property out there. We're both aspiring successful businessmen.
That's right.
So we're thinking about we want to like have an Airbnb there someday. We're thinking so. That's kind of the direction our mind's going in. So I mean, I think we've beaten it to death at this point. One last thing, you are wearing a Sun Devils shirt. You said you're not really loyal to either Arizona or Arizona State.
That's right. Mostly just follow the pro sports there.
Yeah. Well, for me, I got to go with Arizona State, just because my uncle first got me the Arizona State t-shirt, and I don't have the same hatred toward Arizona that I do toward Michigan.
Right.
That's that's where I'm at with that. But I got to say I'm probably on Team Sun Devils.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying I don't know. I would still root for Arizona in certain spots, probably not like the Michigan situation at all. But I still haven't been to Tucson. Have you?
I have.
Have you? How's that?
It was nice. I think I only went there like once.
Is it even hotter, I'm assuming, or is it kind of similar?
I don't know about that because I mostly remember being there in like the evening.
Yeah.
I think we mostly went there because my dad is a big stargazer, so
was he just like, what a concept? The universe. What a concept. I could imagine your dad just being out there saying that.
Right.
Yeah. That's cool though.
Yeah. So we went to like this observatory there.
Yeah.
And I explored the campus there for parkour purposes. And,
oh, really?
Yeah.
How old are you then?
I must have been like, I want to say like early college, so probably like 8, 19.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't think I'm not sure if I think I've seen Sun Devil Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I've really been on ASU's campus, but
yeah,
I think, like I said, I think I've seen it, and I think I've been to Tempe, so, but I've never been to Tucson, so.
So Tempe's where Arizona is?
Arizona State.
Oh.
Is that in Tempe?
Okay.
It's basically like, it's kind of like Minneapolis, St. Paul. It's like,
gotcha.
Tempe's like the college town, and Phoenix is like the city,
Yeah. So which college is in Tucson?
Arizona.
Okay.
You didn't? Oh, did you not know that?
Nope. I just couldn't remember which college was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's all right. I mean, I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, anyways, I think we've beaten Arizona to death. That topic, especially for this podcast. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous how much time we've spent. But another thing you're very passionate, and you mentioned about it already, is parkour. You're big into the parkour thing.
Yeah.
And he actually has a very successful YouTube video.
Yeah. One of my videos took off.
76,000 views.
That's right.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna leave a link in the description
in
this video. That way, you can get my 2 or 3, viewers to check out your video.
Yeah.
So, that'll be fun for them to see. This guy, he's got. I watched his video. It's very impressive. It's just a cool thing to watch. It's funner to watch than I think for me. I feel like it's funner to watch than to do, me personally. I don't know about you. What do you think?
Man, like, I love watching a good parkour video, but there's nothing like watching a good parkour video and getting inspired and then going out and doing it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So how do you deal with, like, the fear? So some of the stuff's a little bit dangerous.
Oh, totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, you're talking about, like, you're doing weird, you're like swinging from the jungle gym or from, like, and on kids' toys no just like on a kid's playground.
Yeah.
But, I can think about 1,000 different ways to, like, really hurt yourself, like on a playground like that,
Oh, totally.
Not to mention when you're like, you're like climbing up wall, you're doing all sorts of different stuff, and it's crazy. But how did you like get over that? Like that? Did you ever have like any fear of doing
Oh
that?
yeah, the fear doesn't stop. You just learn to go about it more confidently.
Yeah.
And learn to progress.
Have you ever biffed it really bad?
I have.
Yeah.
The one time I biffed it really hard was at this playground.
Yeah.
And my family likes to have these like Friday night dinners, and this time we were going to Oakland Park in Portage for some chicken.
Yeah.
And so I had a chicken picnic.
Nice.
A chicknick. And we had a little break where before I got my food was jumping on the playground, and I attempted to do this vault where you stick your feet in between your hands.
Yeah.
And that gives you momentum, and then I was going to land on some bars. And then instead, though, as I was going, I chickened out, and instead of my feet going through my hands, my feet hung back, but my momentum went forward, so my feet went over like a handstand, like a flip, and then I crashed my calf and my legs onto the bars I was trying to land on. So I flipped upside down.
Yeah.
And proceeded to just get a really bad calf contusion, and I fell down, and like this lady nearby was just like, "Oh, he fell." Like she, I think she was like ready to see my pain.
Yeah, she wasn't very sympathetic sounding.
No, not at all.
That's unfortunate. You always get certain people out there who are just mad at life.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was kind of like, well, he's kind of disturbing the peace, and he gets what he deserves, and being a goofball or whatever she thought of me.
Yeah. Can't be goofball anymore.
Right, I know. So. It's no fun. So, that caused me to be in crutches for like 3 weeks, and that was tough.
That's rough, man. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously you're still doing it. You haven't stopped.
Yeah.
The addiction just keeps going on.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I don't know that much about parkour. Yeah. Like, I just think it's a really interesting thing. Obviously, it's kind of like it's one of those skills that everyone is just like jaw dropping when you're able to do it. It's just like, like everyone just feels about this small when they see someone who can do parkour. They're just like, man, like I wasted my life. These people are like immortal almost, with the ability to just climb up walls and be super daredevil like, and I don't know, like it just makes you feel like, man, what am I doing with my life? You're
being safe.
Yeah, that's true.
Not saying it's not an unsafe thing to do with the right training
but I mean
precautions,
but I mean, I'm not okay. Obviously, you have a certain personality. You were in the Army National Guard as well, so you're a brave person, I'd say. Like you're just, I mean, that's just kind of your personality, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that factors into it?
I think a little bit. I think when it comes to physical risks, I'm a little more daring. Like me and my roommate, we kind of do stupid stuff at the house. I mean, a couple months ago, I picked up a boiling egg from boiling water for like a few seconds and dropped.
Oh man.
Just doing some stuff that pushes the boundaries.
I'm really daring with eating stuff. Sometimes I'll eat something I'll eat something that's undercooked, and I'll know it's not a good idea. But I can't wait any longer, and I'll like a turkey burger or something. So, I'm kind of brave with that kind of stuff. I guess it's just kind of conditioning. Like you just lie to yourself and tell something like everything's going to be okay, even if you're not sure that it will. But,
and that's half the battle with parkour. It's mostly mental.
Yeah. So, do you think there's any way that someone could get into parkour in just kind of a simple way, just kind of pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone a little bit? What would you recommend for those kind of people?
Totally. I mean, just breaking down, any kind of movement, I guess you could say, in parkour. So, I mean, if your goal is to jump from this platform or this ledge to this ledge, it's 5 foot gap and it's a few feet high.
Yeah.
Just practice on the ground, just go in the same distance but on the ground, and get a feel for that. Make sure you're learning good technique, landing on the balls of your feet.
Yeah.
Absorbing, getting a good squat when you land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So before you go to do a move, do you ever is your thought process okay, if I biff, then what's gonna happen? You have to have a little bit of equation there, right? Like, what's the worst that can happen? Does that kind of like factor into your decision a little bit?
Sometimes,
Like,
but
is like if you're just gonna be like run in front of a car kind of thing, you know? Like, what's the worst that could happen? I don't know.
But usually not, because like you've known the training you've done prior to this, point in your parkour career, and like you kind of know what you're capable of, and you got to trust your technique, and
right. Now, is that all amateur, or is there like, have you done some kind of like competitions or anything like that?
Yeah, I haven't done any.
Are there competitions?
I think there are, but the essence of parkour is that it's non-competitive.
Yeah, okay.
Because
so it's kind of like disc golf.
Yeah, except maybe less competitive than disc golf.
Okay.
Because you go to like, I've been to some parkour jams where it's just a bunch of people around the nation gathering to do parkour with each other, and I think that's as competitive as it gets, because people are trying to show off and like do bigger stuff than they normally would.
So it's kind of showboating a little bit.
Yep, a little bit. But that's how like injuries happen and people get banged up. I mean, I went to the Chicago Jam a few years ago, and like,
oh really?
I just saw a lot of that, like people just doing stuff that.
Did you participate in that or not?
I did, but I didn't try to go as hard as other people were trying.
Okay.
Just to be tryhards.
Yeah.
And,
gotcha.
Yeah, people were getting scraped up and hurt, and
yeah.
But and the essence of it is just, it's not a, it's the nature of parkour is not to be super competitive,
So does it give you a lot of confidence?
I think so. Yeah. It's cool to see my confidence grow with being able to do that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And grow in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just kind of a natural athlete. I mean, really. So, I mean, you could do just about anything. I know that you also ski, which I do as well.
Yeah.
Bit, so.
Snowboard. Yep.
Snowboard.
Yeah.
You're just like, no. I'm kind of up here. You're kind of down here. But so you snowboard. Is there any similarities there? Like what's the biggest hill you've gone down?
I do some black diamonds at
Have you done Hawthorne?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I haven't done that one yet. Okay. I haven't done that one.
That one is fun. It was especially fun this year. Because like they made like a man-made little like lip at the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Of the hill, so you get up and you can potentially get some air.
Yeah.
And nothing too crazy, but just enough to make it fun.
Excuse me.
So.
So I didn't intend on talking about that actually, but it's kind of like, seems like you get someone who, those things just kind of go together, like volleyball, parkour, skiing. That's just like you gotta have something for every season. Just that living on the edge. Like in a good way.
Yep.
But I guess that's all I got. Do you have anything else you want to like add about like anything we've talked about with parkour or any of these other extreme sports?
No, I don't think so. I guess I would say like it's never too late to start. Just start at basic stuff, small gaps.
Yeah.
Start with vaults. I mean, there are 50-year-olds that do parkour.
Yeah.
In fact, the founder and
I could see that. I could see that. Yeah.
The CEO of American Parkour still actively participates and trains, and yeah.
So I guess that's all I got. That's all we got for that. I do want to get into a little bit of real quick. Talk about Detroit a little bit.
Yeah.
The Tigers are, they're hanging in there. They're it's a nice improvement. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's a nice improvement. They're playing probably as we're speaking right now.
Yeah.
Not sure how they're doing, but what's been your thoughts on how they've been doing this year so far?
I was looking at the stats recently, and with runners in scoring position, they've been really successful.
Have they?
Yeah.
I thought my complaint was that it seems like they always leave people on base. But,
okay.
Again, that's just a novice baseball opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that happens in every game, and it's just something that, it's kind of like saying, I don't know, it's kind of like, it's like a newborn baby, and it's like the first thing they see, it's like, oh man, that guy dropped a pass, like for football, or oh, he must not be a very good receiver. That's kind of like that's still at the point I think I'm at with baseball.
Totally.
I saw Miggy strike out that one time. He must not be a very good player. That's kind of the point I'm at with baseball a little bit, but so that's good. It seems like, but it does seem like we're streaky. They're streaky. We
Yeah.
agree on that.
Yep, I've noticed that. They won like 6 in a row and then dropped 8 and then
Yeah.
won 5 in a row.
Right. So, they're playing the Brewers. I think they got a good chance to, maybe take both those games again.
Yeah.
They were real competitive with the Twins. I was impressed with that. They've been real competitive with some good teams.
Yeah. They've been scrappy. Coming back late.
But they keep losing people, man. They lost Jacoby Jones.
Yep.
He's out for the year now. And he was like, for me, I thought he was like their offensive MVP so far.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Again, that's my novice opinion. And then they lost Crone, the first baseman. That was a huge loss. And I'm thinking, like, how do we even have this many injuries in baseball?
I know.
Like, is this normal?
So there's been, 2 injuries?
Seems like. I mean, yeah, 2 big ones.
Yeah.
It seems like.
Both season ending?
Yeah. And then they traded Maben, which is not an injury, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
But, 2 major injuries, is that normal for a baseball season?
I would say this point in, it's
okay.
It's not like football where everybody's getting hurt, but it's
it just seems like there's so limited things that could happen.
I know, right?
To me, I think excuse me. I don't think that I've really had that big of an injury with baseball. I really haven't had any real super injuries, I've gotten banged up, but just doesn't seem. I still don't understand certain things about baseball, those injuries that, those freak injuries. It seems like in baseball, if it's an injury, it's got to be a freak injury, don't you think?
Yeah.
Because it's not like, a catcher I could see getting run over, by someone, but, or maybe, I don't know, torn ACLs, things like, or like hamstrings maybe, but I can't see it just seems like if it's an injury, it's got to be a freak injury. That's just how it seems to me. But anyways, do you think they're going to be able to hold their head above water now that they're without 2, pretty important players and trading away Maben?
Yeah, I don't know. We still got 3 more weeks of the regular season. Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting. It's a tough division this year. I mean, we got the White Sox ahead of us, the Twins and the Indians. Yeah. So it's looking bleak, but they've improved, like you said.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they might. It seemed like they were coming around on the Indians a little bit. The White Sox, I feel like we've just had bad luck against them. Yeah. In my opinion. But one player I've really been impressed with is Victor Reyes. And it just seems like he always comes through when they need him to. Yep. I don't know about you, but
absolutely.
And then it seems like Romine has been good to watch too. He doesn't disappoint that much. Mm-hmm. What are some players you've been really impressed with so far?
I would agree with Reyes. I mean, I've seen him, pick his average up 313 or something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah,
I saw him steal third base the other day.
Oh yeah. He went 4 for 4 one of the games recently.
Yeah.
Something like crazy like that. I think
you're right.
But, it seems like whenever I watch him, I've been hearing about Miguel do stuff, but I really have just not seen him do anything when I've been watching. So
it's been a hard year for him. He was in that slump at the beginning where his average was 140, 180. Yeah. But then he went on a 15-game winning streak, and now he's up to 250. So looking more like old Miggy. I've seen him be clutch a lot. Whenever it seems like there's a runner on second or third, he gets him home usually. Yeah. So that's been good.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to think. A couple of disappointing players for me have been Nico Goodrum. Doesn't seem like he does much lately. Yeah. Christian Stewart, it seems like I haven't seen much for him lately. And I think Scope, he seems like he's come through earlier rather than later. Earlier in the season he was doing all right, but pitching wise, I really been impressed with Turnbull. Yep. And the one time I saw Casey Mize start, I thought he looked pretty good. Yeah. Scooble, You know, I haven't seen him pitch a second game yet. Funkhauser, I thought actually looked pretty good the other day.
Yeah.
When he played the Braves. Buck Farmer. Seems like he's automatic.
Don't forget Daniel Norris.
Daniel Norris, I was really hard on him. That was in my very early baseball stage when I'm like, oh, he gave up a bunch of home runs. He sucks. And I was kind of like that guy in Major League 2. I don't know if you've seen Major League 2.
I don't think I have.
Okay, have you seen Major League?
No.
Neither one? I'm like the guy who's just like, just super down on the team, but or on certain players. But if you watch that movie, you'll know who I'm talking about. That one obnoxious fan. But that's a really good movie, by the way. You should check it out. I love the music in it too.
Yeah.
But so I think that's probably all I got on the Tigers. Anything you want to add on that or no?
Nah, I'm good.
You're good. Okay, last thing I want to talk about. Obviously, we got the Lions starting.
Yes.
We're into game week now, finally.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's actually going to happen. I haven't been hearing about any setbacks or anything. So,
same. Yeah.
I mean, like, for a while there, it seemed like nothing, everything was, everything was looking sketchier by the day. And, but the Lions, obviously, they made big news. They signed Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
We're pretty happy about that.
Me too.
How do you feel about that? Like,
I feel really good about
thoughts?
that. I know he's not the same back he was 7-10 years ago, but he's still a prolific running back, and he's going to be a good leader and good teammate. He's going to be a good piece of the committee, running back by committee. Yeah. He can still get it done.
Yeah, I really think that it's one of those moves you can't lose. You know, like you're getting a veteran running back. You know that he's gonna, even if he's not productive, he's gonna be serviceable.
Yep.
Even if he's only like playing like even if he's only like giving you Zach Zenner numbers, that's still something. But I mean, this is a guy who's used to carrying the load. So that if your young running backs are not, if they're not healthy, which it seems like that's been their downfall so far. Then you got a guy, this cyborg, who, you can just, put in there and he's like, yeah, man, I'm good to go. You know, like I'm a turnkey guy, just watch him go, you know? I mean,
gets it done.
Nothing to it.
Right. And he doesn't really get hurt.
Yeah, no, he does. He hasn't really gotten hurt. People have been talking about he's been fumbling the ball a little bit. But man, we've watched them play the Vikings a lot, and he's just a hard. He's tough to contain guy.
Yep.
I don't think anyone thinks he's going to be MVP level. Could he run for 1,000 yards?
Yeah, he was close last year. Wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was. And Washington wasn't a great team. We're not a great team. I mean, how much do you think like this moves the ball though? Like, how much do you think? Like, does this make them a playoff team? Does this fill a hole, or is it just kind of like a nice pickup, kind of like a, just kind of like just to kind of get some? Does it just kind of get people talking? Does it get people excited, but maybe it's not substance? Or do you think this really fills a hole for the team?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna do anything major. I mean, the Lions are been so dependent on the pass for so long, and our defense, I'm assuming, is still going to be bad, like always. Yeah. So we're going to be more dependent on the pass because of that reason, trying to play catch up, and you can always count on Matthew Stafford. But I think AP is still a good addition, and it's not a huge, piece, but it's still something we could use.
Yeah. I mean, where I'm at, I just think like I said, it's one of those you can't really lose. You got an extra guy. And, I'm just curious to see if he's gonna be the guy they look to initially, or if he's gonna be like the plan B or the plan C,
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think he's gonna play regardless. Sounds like Swift is not doing so hot in the health department. Kerryon Johnson, we know he struggles to stay on the field.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think he's gonna get his reps this year.
Yeah,
and
I do too.
I think that I would almost like to see him be the main guy, you know, or at least in the rotation. I want to see him be either a third down back or, I want to see him be, the late game guy or something like that, I don't think Adrian Peterson does a lot of receiving, does he? Like,
I
he
don't think
doesn't catch a
so.
lot.
Not a whole lot.
I mean, but I think they can, Minnesota in the past has done a lot of like outside. Seems like Adrian Peterson does really good job running to the outside. Is that kind of how you remember him a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems like that's what Carrion does a little bit too. So, but we're excited about that, and I think the Lions are going to beat the Bears this week.
Yeah.
In large part because of the lack of practice. I think the Lions are more ready to. I think they have, more chemistry, going with Stafford, Marvin Jones, Galladay, whereas the Bears, they're still kind of a joke offensively, with Trubisky. And, you ask if they're ready, offensively, and you just say, no, not even close. But, I just don't think that I think the Bears would have had a really good chance to win if we had had a normal preseason, whereas, like I said, I think the Lions, the fact that they're kind of more like ready on the go, like, even though they didn't have a preseason, I just think they're going to be more, I think they're going to hit the ground running better than the Bears will.
Yep.
So, I mean, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, without sounding a little biased, I think the Lions are going to have a good game, and I think offensively they're just going to be overwhelming. I think for the Bears, and then like you said, the Bears' offense is.
Yeah, I mean, I just think I really don't know why they're not starting Nick Foles. I think it's time for the Bears to move on from Trubisky.
I was surprised at that.
Yeah, and Nick Foles, I think he's he's just kind of one of those guys that he has his ups and downs, but you're giving yourself a chance with Nick Foles. Trubisky, it just seems like similar to the Trubisky kind of reminds me of Joey Harrington a little bit.
Yeah,
like it just seems like and mentally you've moved on from him, but for some reason the team hasn't moved on to him. Again, I'm not a Bears fan. That's just kind of how I envision that they would be thinking about him at this point. So,
and then you got Foles who won the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like you got he's almost like a Ryan Fitzpatrick type of guy.
Agreed.
This guy's just kind of like, he's just like he can do a lot of things just on his experience alone, and I think the Lions are still going to struggle defensively. Sounds like Okuda's not coming along that well so far. Again, not a huge surprise with how, defensive backs progress. It's one of the harder positions. I really want to see how Hawkinson's going to do this year.
Yeah.
Second year. I mean, I really think that game he played against Arizona last year, I really think that was kind of like the game where you see okay, that's kind of where his ceiling's at, that's where his potential's at, I think that's kind of like you take the best game of a rookie's year, and in my opinion, that's kind of like where their potential's at.
Yeah, that was his first game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
that was nice.
But I mean, I think he's the real deal. You watch him play, he's got the speed, he's got the intangibles, and people are doubting him, and I just don't get it personally. I think he's a freak athlete. I really do. And I think he's great at catching the ball.
Yep.
Run blocking, pass blocking. I think I don't want to make too big of a deal about it. I think he's adequate there.
Yeah.
I don't think he's like Pettigrew where he was like another offensive lineman.
Yeah.
But, I think, like I said, I think Hawkinson is a Pro Bowl player going forward. I think he could be the next. I really do think he could be maybe like a poor man Gronkowski, type of player. But one last thing about Adrian Peterson, though. I really think that he could have games where it's just like, man, he looks like the old Adrian Peterson. He could have a game running for $120, on 20 carries, something crazy like that.
Sure.
And then the next game against, Green Bay or something, he'll run for 30 yards. And, on 14 carries, and we'll be like, oh, well, Father Time's catching up with him.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just how great even in their later years, great players sometimes, every once in a while, they'll turn it on and have those games where, you say, man, he looks like the old Adrian Peterson. But
I think you're right. I think we'll see one or two of those.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, I think that's all I got for this quarter of the year, since it's been almost 3 months. I should say this week, but it's not really a weekly thing around here. But we certainly hope to have more guests on, more very interesting persons like Michael Q here, and hoping that we get a really good. I'm just hoping we get a really good, fulfilling NFL season. To make up for all the crap we've had to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
No college football is gonna suck. Pac-12 and Big Ten. So that is gonna suck. No MAC football as well.
Mm-hmm.
No Western.
Yeah.
No Eastern. None of the goodies. We don't get to go to Waldo this year.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
But just hoping that Sundays are great.
Mm-hmm.
And looking forward to it, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to This, That, and the Other. I'd like you to check out the video, subscribe to his channel, subscribe to my channel. I need more subscribers than he does. But make sure you like, don't dislike, subscribe, leave a positive comment, and just be nice. We all need to be decent people. You don't need to talk about how I was scratching myself. I have poison ivy, by the way, so you don't need to be talking about how I was scratching myself the whole time. It is what it is. Make sure you do that. It is mandatory to like, comment, and subscribe, and leave a good comment. So, anyways, have a great evening, and we'll talk to you next time. So, dude, are you gonna give me that shirt back or what?
The shirt?
Yeah.
Why? You said I can wear it. That means I can keep it.
No.
What? Dude, that's kind of implied.
Dude, I didn't tell you could just keep the shirt.
I like it.
Dude, my uncle gave me that shirt over 10 years ago. I didn't want you to just keep the shirt for yourself.
Yeah.
It doesn't even fit you. Look.
What do you mean?
Dude, it's way too baggy. Dude, it doesn't even matter, dude. My uncle gave it to me as a gift.
Like,
all right?
I care.
Don't be a jerk, all right?
I'm not.
Just give me the shirt back.
That's just
dude.
the rules, dude.
That's not the rules, dude.
Yes, dude.
Dude, you forgot your son's shirt. I told you to bring your son's shirt, and you forgot to bring it.
Yeah, and if you were at my house and you forgot your shirt, I would have given you my son's shirt.
Unbelievable, dude. Dude. What the heck? Is this still on? Anyway, so were you able to find that game, or?
Not yet. Working on it.
Yeah. All right, here. You want some Hawaiian Punch?
No. Let's get your backwash, dude. You were drinking.
No, there's no backwash in there. It's fine.
I can see it right there.
That's red. It doesn't mean it's backwash.
No, dude. There's some white stuff there.
White stuff? What do you think I did?
I don't know, man. I'm not accusing anything, but besides, dude, this pandemic. Did you hear the coronavirus?
Dude, it's perfectly good Hawaiian Punch, dude.
Nah, I'm not drinking that.
I don't know, man. I don't know if this went too well. I mean, you won't give me my shirt back. I just feel like we got our wires crossed.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we should hang out anymore.
I don't know either, man.